Hello again from Kremenchuk. So this is bike check part 2. Let's see, pedals. I changed the Shimano PDE of 205 with these ones, Ergotec EP1. Have a nice big area. They also have this edge, which means your foot are always in the correct position, sideways at least. I like that. What I don't like about these, they come standard with the bearings set way too tight. Secondly, not enough grease, and very small balls in the ball bearings, very small balls. They should be made bigger. One side on the inside had been corroded in the Netherlands, and I replaced all the bearings then with stainless steel bolts that I got from or bought from SGS Cycles in the UK. Put in a lot of grease and put it back together, but there's slight play here, and this is also a slight play. So I needed to adjust them. Actually, I didn't tighten them properly and needed to adjust them with a friend in Irpin. Okay, did that, and they have been good, but the pedals could be improved by Ergotec. Just change those bearings. Probably it's better to use cartridge bearings, and not so tiny balls, that they can withstand a little bit more, because when they get rusted a little bit and the chrome layer is gone, these balls will wear out and get deformed very quickly from rusting. Secondly, the saddle. So I changed the saddle with a b66 Champion. The cutout is a mix of the Briq cutout here and the Briq cutout for the Imperial. I actually think the cutout that Briq makes is probably better. I've experimented a bit with different cutouts over the years, and so this is sort of a mix. I think the Briq cutout is better. At some point I'm going to try the Briq cutout on a new B17 that I still have. The springs of the b66 Champion are softer than on the b67, but I didn't really notice a big improvement on riding on the bad roads. So I need to check that a bit more. There are still issues, but it's dependent on the roads or different types of bad roads. And I have written down already a summary of all different types of road surfaces that I came across in the Netherlands, Poland, Ukraine, to give a sort of a guide to road surface conditions and what may be useful to ride on them. And one of the things that can be useful is, of course, using tires with low pressure. The issue that you can get is bouncing. Same as with the Centaur NCX seat posts that I don't like. You got a bounce issue, the rebound. You need damping. The same happens with 50mm tires when running it at about 1.5 bar or something like that. I didn't like it at all in the Netherlands, and you don't need it there. Here in Ukraine you need it more, and I've run these at about 2.2 bar, I estimate. The front at about 1.8, 1.9 bar. I've got them pumped up higher because I've got some issues with certain type of conditions. Didn't improve anything. I think 2.2 bar, something like that, is good for the rear wheel as well. You glide over most of the bumps. So I didn't take bigger tires than 45mm. These are the Schwalbe G1 Overland 45mm tires. I couldn't fit bigger ones for two reasons. One, there is a sort of, you probably can't see it, sort of a guide here for the sort of canal, sort of plastic tube for the wire to the tail lamp. Secondly, below the fender here is a metal plate that connects the rear rack with the frame. All that takes away height. which is, yeah, it may look nice, a clean bike perhaps, but having yes, a connection rod here, why not? So what I'm going to do, probably, this fits just about, but I sometimes hear a little bit of rubbing, so I'm probably going to at some point replace the rack and fenders as well, a bit more wider fenders. Let's see what else. Front lights. So I've been using the Philips SafeRide 60 and this one, the Busch & Müller Briq. The Briq is the only light from Busch & Müller that I like, the front light. It has, strangely, it seems about 5000 Kelvin light color temperature, which is okay, better than most, and similar to the SafeRide 60 neutral white. This is from 2012. This one is a little bit better at lower height. This one is better actually at a higher height, the Briq. So what you can do for the optimal experience for a low cost bike light for the front is get the Briq, get a mount for on the handlebar. You need some extension wire probably to the tail lamp wire. You can make that or have a bike shop to make one. You may need to lengthen this wire, but I can just about get to the dynamo. What this does when you mount it higher is that overexposure becomes less close to the front wheel. That's an issue with the Briq. This tape is also needed to remove an annoying second stripe, which is very bright and distracting. I left a little bit here for sideways visibility, but it's not really needed. I think this is enough. It should be there. Yeah, I'll check a bit. Otherwise, probably better to leave it here a little bit, leave it open here a little bit, because this actually gets pointed mainly on the ground. So you need to cover this to remove some artifacts. If you mount it higher, then the quite bright stripe that's actually here on the front wheel then gets farther to the front, and it's less annoying as well. It also becomes less bright because the surface area is yeah, about doubled or so. It's from 0.75 meters to 1.05 meters from the center of the lens approximately, and that means that the surface area is about doubled onto which the light is going, and that means the brightness is, yeah, halved. And you don't need the brightness so much at the front wheel. This one is a little bit too dark here at the front wheel, and there's a bit of a gap to the front wheel. This, if you mount it here, if you mount it lower, then the gap becomes smaller and it becomes a bit brighter. So this one is better here on this height, this one is better on this height. But as you can't get the Accendo 60, which has the same beam as the SafeRide 60, in neutral white, my recommendation is for the Briq and mounting it at handlebar height. But of course you need to extend some wire to the tail lamps, and maybe also this wire to the dynamo. Let's see what else. I've mounted here the cheapo phone mount that I had mounted here on the bike, on the handlebar, because here now I have enough space. And I just put a yeah, power bank in it. It's really useful. Let's see, anything else? Oh yes. So this is from, what was it? From the Dutch brand. Don't recall the name at the moment. So it is mounted on the saddle rails for one or two bottle cages. Although the second bottle cage was getting in the way here because of this leather sticking out a little bit. But I like this position actually, putting a bottle here very close to you, behind you. And I'm looking to get by a fourth of these, because yeah, it's nice. You can fit all kinds of bottles in it. I like it. There are different types, of course, that are similar, and in which you can also put different size bottles, and if you can mount them here, then it would be nice. But of course, if you make them wider, then this won't fit with the second. So yeah, it depends a bit. Here this is fixed, this size, and then if the bottle is too big and won't fit here, then it'll stand out a bit. But that's not a problem. Stand out a bit from here. I mean, it won't touch this, but it will be a bit more here. That's fine. So this, the reason why I don't have the second mounted, which was a titanium bottle cage, which I showed, got from AliExpress, super cheap, and it works well. It's held up so far. Yeah, everything vibrated loose on the trip that I mounted it on, so I had to use Loctite here and screw everything very tight. And I thought, okay, I'll leave that. Yeah, I mentioned I have the bell mounted here. It's okay. I mentioned this mount. I like it better than the quad lock, although retail price 60 euros for including damper is, for some pieces of plastic, it's a lot. Okay, this is it from pt2. Bye for now.